reaching those arches to the floor. We've got the internal rotation to pull the fascia down. Now hands are going to be here. I'm going to be sitting up tall. I'm using my hands to take all the weight off my core. The reason why is I want to get movement in my lumbar spine. So I'll be up here. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to tuck my tailbone, push my belly button behind me, try to lay my sacrum on the ground. You see it's a very small movement, right? Inhale, pull back up. So I'm tucking, pumping. Tuck, push that belly button behind, up. A lot of weight on those knees, right? Pull all of the weight that you have so you can get more mobility. I want to try to get flexion in that spine, right? A lot of people, they get hurt in flexion because they don't have that flexion capacity. We want to try to bring that back, especially if you have your plans of deadlifting and good stuff like that. We need to have good flexion in the lumbar spine. Good chest up. I want you to push here. Push the chest up. Yes, just like that. Good chest up. You're going to tuck the tailbone, push into me here. Push, push. There you go. Back up. Good job. Good for you. Good. Push up and tuck the tailbone, push your chest up. Go push, 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 push. Good. Back up. I want you to work in the more. Tuck that tailbone. Yep. Tuck. Tuck other way. Yes. And then back up. Oh yeah. That's good. More here. Tuck that tailbone. Push here. Yep. Good. A couple more here, guys. Good. Very good. All my clients do 50 or 60 of these in the morning. All right, guys, slowly go ahead and take your hands off. This is what we get as a progression. Okay, so that's really getting movement, teaching what we want to do next. Now, this is to train the lower abs. The reason why we train the lower abs is a lot of people have anterior pelvic tilt, right? When you have the anterior pelvic tilt, you have a weak ab. The low ab, the rectus abdominis, is extremely weak. So this tugging of the tail, you can do plank, right? That's going to help bring that back. Bottom ribs and hips together, dead bugs, things like that, okay? But for this, we're going to switch the breathing pattern up. So I take a deep breath in. I'm going to have my hands off my legs. Deep breath in. I'm holding the core pressure now. And I tuck the tailbone and I'm going to roll down to wherever my end range is. End range is going to be where my feet want to come off the ground or where I lose tension. So for me today, I'm about here. I'm going to hold that 1 second and I'm going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale. Shouldn't be able to talk like I am. Inhale, hold, tuck that tailbone, hands are out, chest is up, and we want to think about sacrum lays on the ground, and each consecutive part of the spine after that is slowly laying down in a segment. And then we come back up, okay? So let's see them. Good. All about control. Good stuff. And it's very important that you guys don't sit back in the L sit, right? We don't want to activate the psoas. Tuck more, tuck more. There you go, there you go, tuck more. Yep. Good, that was good. Good job, guys. Very good. Looking good, guys. That first movement, just tucking that tailbone, laying the sacrum on the ground, and coming back up. As long as you're bracing and you're getting tension along that line in the rectus, there's nothing you can do wrong here. Let's go one more. Good shit, guys. All right, so basically that's a quick warm-up, okay? I'm taking them through like a 10 to 15 minute warm-up of something of that nature, right? We're getting the gravity line, we're educating, we're getting them moving down the gravity line with their arms and their legs, trying to get them to keep that straight form, and then through the warm-up, like mobilizing the lumbar spine or the ribs, kind of what we're gonna work with, right? Like if I'm doing like more of a lumbar or something, I'll focus more on that. If I'm going up kind of like how we did the neck, there's a whole bunch of other shoulder stuff as well to kind of warm the cervical spine up and so on and so forth with the thoracic spine. So it's just literally putting things together of proper movement. You can play with it. As long as you have the proper, proper anatomy and proper movement, you can have a good time with it.
How important is understanding anatomy when you're cueing people?
So that's great. Yeah, you need to know, and I wouldn't say you need to know, like for me, I know all of the muscle attachments. Now if you ask me right now, off the top of my head, I might not be able to know all of them. But like, it's very important. Like, as you know, you go to school, you forget shit. That's life. But once you've read the material and you're familiar with it, when you come back, you're like, oh shit, yeah, no, here. And that's the goal. So if you kind of know for the psoas kind of attaches here underneath the rib cage, goes to here and here, you can kind of be like, oh, I want to work at the proximal psoas, so I'm going to work this area. But yeah, to your question, the anatomy is extremely important. So, when you go through these ELDOAs, if you guys are ever going to do it, it's very heavily in anatomy. There's chiropractors there, doctors of PT, it's nothing small. So it feels like a lot to chew off at first, but to be honest with you, I'm super glad that I went through it.
One thing that I have my trainers, we do teaching trainers classes every week now. And
that's a great idea.
it's each trainer's job, whatever they're going to train for that day,